Hi and welcome to Good and Great Christian Book Reviews. This week I want to look at a Christian classic, and it is the Confessions of Augustine, St. Augustine's Confessions. Now I'm going to be honest, I put off reading this book for about 20 years and having read it I've just gone, why did I not read it sooner? Let me tell you why I didn't read it sooner. Firstly, it's big. Secondly, you have to choose the right translation, and some of the translations are quite archaic. And then thirdly, sometimes the book just looks very old and looks very difficult. But actually, this is what I've discovered. If you get a good translation and if you get a nice edition and you sit down, it is incredibly readable. In fact, it's quite an addictive read. The Confessions of St. Augustine is written like a prayer. Augustine lived back in the 300s and he writes as a Christian, looking back over his life, all the way back to being a baby. He seems to have an amazing memory to remember all his baby things, all the way through his childhood and all the way to how he is converted. And he writes it as a prayer, so he's speaking to the Lord and he's confessing his life to the Lord. You get a wonderful insight to what it means to be human. You get an amazing and very clear insight to the nature of sin and how sinful we are. There's an amazing section in there where he describes stealing a pear, even though he didn't really want the pear and even though he had more pears at home. But it shows something of the human condition. Now there are some parts in there where if you don't know the history might not make sense. Some of the kind of sects that he fell into and some of the philosophies that he engaged with. But if you choose a good translation and some nice commentaries, and you can find lots of things online to help you there, you go through and you see his pursuit of knowledge. Now, having read the book, it's fair to say this, you can get ones that have 9 chapters or 9 books and ones that have 13. And basically 1 to 9 cover his life to conversion, and then 10 to 13 seem to kind of be these bolt-ons, but they're not really, but it comes across like that, where he looks at things like time and what it means to think and have memory and kind of a long kind of meditation on creation. I'll be honest, some of that I was like, what are you on about? But there is some real amazing stuff in there. So I would say if you've never read a kind of long classic, go for it, but maybe just focus on the first 9 books or so with a good translation. A couple of takeaways on why you should read this. Takeaway number 1 is if you want to know how amazing God is and how he can draw people, then this book will help you to do that. And secondly, if you want to know the power of a praying mother, that is huge. One of the themes that I love that comes through the book is the fact that Augustine's mother just prayed for him. And let's be honest, by the end of the book, you realise that Augustine's mother didn't have an easy life. She had many problems, but she loved her son and she wept for him. In fact, at one point, one man she goes to see just says, look, I'm sure your son's going to be converted because you've wept so much. So it is a very encouraging book in that way. But look, Augustine, the Confessions, probably not the first book to read, not for the faint of heart, but not as inaccessible as you might imagine.